Want to welcome to the program Weird Al Yankovic. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Yourself?
I'm doing good. What an honor. I mean, over the years, there's so many different things that you have done that I have just loved from the times that, you were back with Dr. Demento, right? On some of the early.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And man, you've had songs for just about anything that's come along in life. You've created a parody song for, and you just have never stopped. Is there any? Are you like the Energizer Bunny? I mean, are you just gonna?
Well, I have slowed down a bit. My last album came out in 2014, and I think that is my last album. I'm not really planning on releasing conventional albums anymore, but if I get an idea, I've thrown out a few singles here and there over the years, and working more in TV and films right now. But yeah, I still keep busy. I still love what I do.
Well, it's awesome. Has there been a time where it faded or something? You thought, well, that's it. I'm going to try something else in life, or has it always felt like there's more fuel in the tank and more ideas to come?
Well, early on, I kind of thought that maybe my career might be over because I thought that like careers have a bell curve. Like, you reach your pinnacle, and then you have the parabola continues, and then you fade off into obscurity. Like my second and third albums did really well, and then my fourth album didn't do quite so well. And I thought, okay, well, my career is almost over. I had a nice run, 1988, and then my next album had Fat on it, and that was my biggest seller at the time. So I learned that my career was going to have a lot of peaks and valleys, and I just tried to make sure that I didn't get too depressed when I was at a valley, or too full of myself when I was at a peak, and just have a good time with it.
When you started this path in life, how old were you when you really became Weird Al Yankovic?
Well, I started sending tapes to Dr. Demento when I was maybe 13 years old. And My Bologna was my first, I guess, bona fide hit, and that was when I was 19. So I don't know, at one point I, knew that I was going to be doing this for a living. It was always just for fun, just sort of a goof. And I was in college. I was getting a degree in architecture, so I thought I would have to grow up and be an adult at some point. And thankfully, that hasn't happened yet.
That's interesting because that was the same thing I went to school for, to become an
Oh,
architect.
no kidding.
Yeah, to become an architect, and life suddenly took a different direction. What school did you go to for that?
Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
No way. All right, wait a second.
Yeah,
Wait a second. What year were you there?
from 76 to 80.
We were there at the same time. You were
Are
that
you serious?
guy. I was there in 77 to 78. I was only there 1 year before I changed path. So
I was on the radio during that time. I wonder if I was doing the Weird Al show on KCPR San Luis Obispo. So
I was working out in Morro Bay at KBAI playing K-Bay's better music.
oh wow, that's so cool. Well, nice.
Pardon
All
us.
right, go Mustangs.
Yeah, pardon us while we reminisce here. So listen, it's worked out for you, and now you've got a story out that it tells your whole story. It's weird. It's weird. The Al Yankovic story.
Yeah, it's a version of my story. I have to, for the people that don't know, it is in fact a parody of biopics. So there's a little bit of truth in the movie, but we go on a few different tangents. We take a few liberties with the truth. So it is in fact a comedy.
As you've looked over all these years and done the different parodies and so forth, and you look at the subjects that you have picked and choose from. Have you found things changed at all in a seriousness in life that have made it harder to make parodies of stuff, or have you been able to keep that lighthearted attitude?
Well, I think I've always kept things lighthearted. I mean, there's always terrible things that happen in the world, and every now and then I'll put out an album and people say, "Oh, we're so glad you put this out now at a time when we need to laugh." Like, when don't you need to laugh? Like, when has everything been perfect in the world and you thought, oh, we don't need any humor or comedy right now? I don't think that's ever ever happened. So I think comedy's just something that everybody needs, kind of always.
Definitely so. Definitely so. When you're being serious, what would be something that you do that would surprise people when they see all that you've done on the commercial and the entertainment side? But on the other side of the coin, what is Al Yankovic really like?
Well, I'm pretty serious when I'm sleeping. During that point, I'm not funny at all during that. My wife will let you know, like, I am not fun at all when I when I'm unconscious.
Does she ever at some point say, okay, that's enough? Does she ever get too much Weird Al Yankovic in her day?
No, I mean, I'm not bouncing off the walls 24 hours a day. So, in fact, she didn't want to date me at first. I mean, we got set up on a blind date, and she almost didn't go out with me because she thought Weird Al, you know, that didn't sound like a good time to her because she didn't want to, go out with some maniac. But then she kind of said, I should give this guy the benefit of the doubt. And she found out that, I'm an actual person. I'm not a lunatic. And things have worked out so far. We've been married for 22 years and change. So far, so good.
Well, congratulations on that. Now, in this DVD, and this is out on Blu-ray and it's out on DVD, and is there other formats that this story is out on?
Edison Cylinder. No, I don't know. It's on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K Ultra HD, and it's a gorgeous transfer. It looks really, really good. I just watched it a couple nights ago. A Dolby Atmos sound. This is the best it's ever looked or sounded. So I'm very, very happy with Shout Factory's package.
You've got some interviews in there and some snippets of stuff when you were on with like Seth Meyers and
Yes.
and tell us about that experience and who was there with you.
That was great. Yeah, I got to go on Seth Meyers with Daniel Radcliffe. We did a whole media gauntlet, so we couldn't put all the interviews together on the Blu-ray, and that would have gotten a little redundant. But we liked the Seth Meyers one. That was cool. Also, there's a commentary. Eric Appel, the director, and I did a full running commentary during the whole movie. There's a 25-minute deleted scenes package where Eric and I talk about the scenes that got deleted, and we show the scenes that got deleted. So we put a lot of stuff on this. It's a really nice collection of ephemera and tidbits of the movie that you may not glean just by watching the movie itself.
I was just thinking here, if you and I had continued on, into our architectural careers, if we at some point would have crossed paths, and comparing, buildings or working together on a project or something like that.
In an alternate universe, I'm sure that would have happened.
God forbid.
In the multiverse, we're making buildings together.
There you go. Well, listen, again, the best way to find this the Al Yankovic story, again, is...
It's online or in an actual store. It's not hard to find.
There you go. All right. Have a wonderful holiday with your wife, and maybe together we'll talk sometime. We could talk more Mustangs for my brief appearance down there. You were there a little bit longer than I was. And again, it's a pleasure talking to you this morning. Weird Al Yankovic.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.